Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Steven Universe. So we're going to start in the middle of his head with his nose. Okay, so we're going to draw the things that are up in front first before we start layering things in behind. So let's draw the bridge of his nose, starting from the center of his face, going straight out in an angle. And then here I'm just going to curve in slightly to be center of his face again. Now in the center here I'm going to draw his nostrils. He's got two sort of lines that kind of become in an angle. And then behind this nose bridge, we're going to draw the eye on the left. So let's start just inside, so doing a slight overlap, going up to the top, and back around, and then tucking in underneath that nose. On the inside here, I'm going to start up here and draw his pupils. So a little elongated portion of an oval. We'll go ahead and color that in black. Let's move over to the right. I'm going to start the same height that I have on the left here at the top. I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom to match the height at the bottom here. So let's go ahead and draw an oval for the eye on the right. And then I'm going to draw the pupil. So again, just making sure the pupil is at the same height as on the left. I'm just coming down and around to the bottom and coloring that in black. From here, I'm going to draw the mouth. So it's got a big grin. So I'm going to start over here on the left side. Just draw a curve going up to the top on the right. And curve around on the right side and just come down, giving enough space for the teeth. On the left side here, I'm just going to curve around as well and just come in and meet up with that side on the right. Now let's draw some teeth. So I'm going to start with the one in the center, just to split this mouth in half. And here on the left side, I'm just going to draw an angled line for the set of teeth on that side. I'll draw an angled line on the right, and I'll just draw one more on the far right here. From this point, now I can start drawing in the sides of his head. So his head would start right about here. So I'm going to put a point of reference beside his eye and work my way around this mouth out to the bottom of his ear. So let's start over here and just work our way around the bottom of the mouth and just come up to the side where the ear would be. From here I'm just going to draw almost like a backward C for his ear. Then from this point I'm going to go in the opposite direction for that little hair that kind of pokes out towards his face. Now that I have that in place, now I can start drawing the top edge of his head. So I'm going to take this point here and connect to here and just kind of draw above the eyes. So let's go ahead and just draw a nice smooth curve over the eyes, just like that. Let's draw the eyebrow on the right. So we start with the bottom part of the eyebrow first. So we're right about here, I'm just going to draw a curve. And then I'm going to curl and round out the sides. And then connecting that with a curve. Now you can go ahead and color that in now, or you can do it a little bit later. I'll do it later. And then on this side, I'll do the same thing. So drawing a curve, rounding out the inside. This one I'm just going to tuck it underneath that hair and then just kind of poke it back up this way. Now let's start drawing in the big tufts of hair. So he's got some pretty big hair. I want to make sure that I go big enough. I don't want the hair to be too short. So let's go ahead and start the hair right about here. Just draw the first lump. Now I want to make sure I've got it right. So right about here, I'm going to take this over to this side, like so. And then one more out this way. This one's the biggest one, so it's going to come around here and end off here by its ear. Go curve like this. Now this bottom part of the hair gets tucked in behind his arms, so I'm going to have his arms stretched out. So I'm going to wait to finish that part off. I'm going to draw the arms in first. Okay, so let's go to the sides of his head. So he's got one arm stretched this way, one arm going this way. So I want to make sure that I'm going to draw the arms the same length. So let's start on this side. Draw this arm going this way. So I'm going to start on the left side just because it's easier for me to go towards the right because I'm right-handed. And then on this side here, I'm going to go up to the wrist. But on the inside, it sort of curls over the shoulder and it kind of comes out like that. Now that I have that in place, I can draw the rest of the hair. So this is just going to curl around and get tucked in behind that arm. Okay, let's go back to the left arm. I'm going to draw the thumb first. So I'm just going to draw a curve that kind of goes up like that. And draw one finger. Just kind of sticks out. Now the rest of the fingers are just a series of overlaps. So starting here, I'm just going to curve around like that. I'll do an overlap. Just these little hooks. Then this last finger, I'm just going to curl all the way back. From here, I'm going to go towards his body. Oh, let's do that little detail in his hand here. So he's got this little curve around his hand. Before I draw the arm going in towards his body, let's go to the right side and draw this hand. So again, I'm going to draw the thumb, just like I did here. I'm just going to flip it over. One finger, like this. Now, a series of overlaps. So one finger, overlap the second, And the third, I'm just going to come all the way back. Let's don't forget that little hook in his hand there. Now, these 2 points from the wrist are going to come towards his body, but before I do that, I want to make sure that the body is almost the same width as the head. So I know right about here, the armpits are going to come up to about here. So I'm going to keep my finger here, put a point, and go straight back with a slight curve going up to that point. I want this side to be a little bit longer because it's overlapping the body. So from here, I'll probably go up to here, draw a curve like that. And for the sleeves, I'm just going to start up here at the top, do a curve from top to bottom. Up here, I'll do the same thing, top to bottom. Now I can draw in the body. So this belly gets overlaps this arm, so I just want to make sure that it's roughly the same size as his head. So over here, I'm just going to use my finger to guide. Now I'm going to go down, but I'm going to stop so I can fit his legs in. On the back side here, again, I'm going to do an overlap because this arm is drawn on top of the body. Okay, so that stop at the same height here. Just move up a little bit and just draw the top of the shirt in since we're here already. Do that. Now let's get into the legs. From this point, I want to come down to the bottom of his cuffs of his pants. So here, I'm going to draw a curve that goes out and then back in. And from here, I'm just going to take this back to his heel, like so. Now from here, I want to draw the curves going back up towards the back of his knee and then back towards his belly. But I see this curve of his body going around this way. So there's the bottom of his pants right about here. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw in a portion of that, like a curve like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now from here, I'm going to take this line and just draw an angle towards the back of his knee. Like, it's okay if it's a little bit long because I'm going to do an overlap here. Curve back to the back of his heel of his pant. Now I'm going to draw that cuff. So it's just twice as thick at the bottom there. Let's go over to this side and draw this leg. So from here, I'm going to draw a curve down to the back of his pant cuff. And then here, I'm going to draw the front. Now I want to make sure that I get the same width of leg as I do on this side here. I'm just going to connect these 2 points with a curve. And again, just drawing the bottom cuff like that. Now the trickiest part here is probably the feet. But I'm going to try to keep it simple. Let's go back to the back of the heel here. Now it looks like this leg sort of extends down. So I'm just going to continue that leg down like this. And it gets curved to the front of the toe. So the front of the foot, I'll probably put about here. So I'm just going to draw a curve to the back. Here I'm just going to square out the toe. And then from that point, I'm just going to go straight into that pant cuff. Now let's draw the bottom of the sole of the shoe. I'm just going to draw the bottom twice as thick. And then here, I'm just going to draw a separation for the big toe. And then it looks like he's got some straps coming down. So a curve going down towards that sole. And then he's got another one. So I'm just going to draw 2 curves out like this. He's got some toe separation lines. So just 2 little curves like that. Let's go to the side on the right. And I'm going to follow that same curve down to his heel. Now this goes to the front of his foot. His front of his foot would be right about here. So I'm just going to curve this up like that. Go straight up. And then I'm going to go straight into the front of his pant cuff. Now, because he's basically on his heel here, you see the bottom of his foot. So I'm going to take this point and connect to this point at the front with a reverse curve like that. Go up a little bit and draw the sole of his shoe. Now let's draw the same thing like I did here. I'm going to draw a curve like this for his big toe. I'm going to separate it with a curve, curve. I'll step down a little bit and draw the back side of the straps. And then just separate his toes slightly with 2 little curves like that. And the final part is the big rounded star in the middle of the shirt. Let's start with the top point. Starting on the left side, go up to a peak, but round it off and come down. And do that same thing on the side here, on the side here. So I want to make sure I'm following this line. So that's why I'm stopping on that side there. Now, these 2 points here go to a point in the center. So I'm just going to put my finger where I think I'm going to put a reference point to meet the center. Take this point and I'm going to connect to that point with a rounded star point. And then we'll do the same thing on the right. That's not too bad. But, oh, and one final detail is pants. Draw a curve in the center here. And one more here. And I think that's it. There we have it. There's Steven Universe. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please make sure you subscribe. Check out all our playlists. We have a ton of characters in there. I'm adding more every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.